All right, folks, how we doing tonight? Looks like we are live. How are we doing on this fine Take Action Tuesday? Oh, folks, it's been a big day for me as far as getting some things done today. I've got quite a bit done today in terms of some things around the house. So, getting some things done in around the house to get some things caught up. So, been a productive day. So anyway, folks, if you are coming to us tonight, come live, give us hashtag live, or if you're coming on replay, hashtag replay. Let me know where you're coming from and drop any questions you've got in the chat there. All right. So any questions you got in the chat. And of course, if you happen to be over on YouTube, check us out over there on YouTube at Home Business Freedom with Smiling Stu, or again, you can just go to @Smiling Stu over there and it'll get you right where you need to be. So anyway, yeah, definitely come over there and join us on YouTube. And you just go @Smiling Stu if you're having any problems finding it. So anyway, and then of course, if you are seeing us anywhere besides the Home Business Freedom Facebook group, definitely come join us over there. It's under Home Business Freedom. Just search Facebook groups for Home Business Freedom, or you can go to the link I set up for you, smilingstu.com/group. We'll take you there as well. So, folks, welcome to Home Business Freedom. I am Smiling Stu Sutherland. I am a freedom crusader. I give people the knowledge and the tools to build freedom by disconnecting their time from their money and growing a residual income working from home. Now, folks, what have I got for you this evening? Well, this morning when I was walking around today, I was listening to Dale Carnegie, and he had just some interesting things, and I just thought I'd share a couple of those with you this evening. It's a chapter on magnifying improvement. So in other words, how do you get people to improve? How do you get people to want to improve? And they started out telling a story about Wallace Pope. Wallace Pope was a individual who was just a guest services person at a Best Western in Chicago. And he was just really, really good with the guests, and everybody just loved to talk with him. He always had a joke and a smile for everybody, and he became just kind of the lifeblood of the place where everybody wanted to see him. And so anyway, he was nominated for an award from the Illinois Hospitality, and it was for Stars in Hospitality. And anyway, he was up for this award, and so of course, Best Western was pretty excited about that. So they put up a website for him and got all kinds of great comments about how everybody loved to see Wallace when they came there and everything. And they got over 2,000 comments. And in the end, Wallace didn't win, but all of those comments that came in that were so good were so motivating to him that it didn't matter that he didn't win. And so anyway, that's kind of how you can magnify improvement, by praising people out in public. So his improvement, his positive contributions were magnified because his attitude was magnified just by all those comments, even though he didn't win the prize. So it's all about praise and encouragement, especially in public. And as you praise people, it reinforces their positive behaviors. If you praise people for doing something right or doing something exceptional, and eventually the bad behaviors kind of drop off because they don't get praised. So people tend to focus on doing the behaviors that are going to get them praised and not worrying about doing the things that aren't going to get them praised. So it's a great way to kind of bring people around without having to tell them what you want them to do. Now, there's a couple of things that you have to do right. And this is something that works and helps you with any kind of personal relationships, be it somebody at work with subordinates or peers, or even superiors for that matter. Praise goes a long way with everybody. People like to be praised. And in fact, studies have shown that the praise actually tends to be more important to them than the actual money for the job. So anyway, so the things that you've got to have to make praise work. For starters, it's got to come from the heart. You can't just make it up and throw out, oh, good job here, good job there. You've got to mean it. Okay. So they've got to feel like it really comes from the heart. You want to deliver it right away. You know, if you see somebody doing something right, you want to pull them aside and praise them right there. You don't want to, bring them around at the team meeting 2 weeks from now and say, hey, 2 weeks ago, that was really great what you did. Because you've lost the momentum and you've lost the real energy of the situation. You want to be specific about your praise. So in other words, don't just say great job, say, hey, really good job, taking care of this situation in particular. Really great job the way you handled that guest complaint, things of that nature. And praise it publicly. So, and there's an old saying that we had in the restaurant industry: praise in public and discipline in private. So, if you have to get on somebody or make a correction, you want to take them off in private, because what can happen if you get on them about whatever it is they're doing in front of their peers, well, now they've got to save face. They've kind of got to buck you. If you take them off in private, they don't have that other people focused on them, and you can actually make your point and then get back out doing what you're doing. But praise in public, I mean, you want to walk right out and just right in front of everybody say, hey, that was really great the way you took care of that guest right just then. I really appreciate what you did. That really helps to improve our overall guest relations, or whatever. So, whatever it is, if it's, the way you clean the stock room, that makes the stock room so much better for everybody else that's operating. Thank you so much for doing that. So any number of things. And the reality is you can actually look for things to praise, and that's what you really want to actively do. And just to emphasize that point, we're talking about a story of Captain Abshov in the U.S. Navy, who was captain of the USS Benfold. And he had a group of sailors who were kind of the bottom of the barrel folks who had lived a really rough life and were just kind of on this ship, and the ship didn't do a lot. And so to keep things going, he as they were doing things to keep his people motivated, what he did was he started writing letters home to their families. So these are folks who lived a kind of a rough life, and maybe, people didn't see the good in them and that sort of thing. And all of a sudden, this man, this captain, is writing letters home to their family about the good things that they've done on the ship. And he looked very specifically for things that they did well so that he could write home about it. And it had a really good effect. And he had one sailor who really didn't stand out, really didn't do anything special that he could call out, but he worked really well with the team. And so the captain wrote a letter to his family about how well he worked with the team and how the team had accomplished so much and that sort of thing. And this young sailor ended up coming into his office and just saying, thank you so much for writing this letter. He said, my father, who has criticized me my whole life and never really thought anything of me, he always told me I was a loser and just never had anything good to say to me. He called me the other night and told me how proud he was of me because of what I was doing and accomplishing here. And it's all because of the letter you wrote. And, that kind of motivation. I mean, here's a person who's never been told he can do anything good, who now has had that change. And I think what that did for his motivation and his wanting to contribute to the team even more, but maybe even turning around and standing out and taking some initiative and doing some things because of the way he felt because of that. So anyway, when you can't praise, and this is the other point that they were making, if you can't find something to praise about, maybe they failed at whatever the project was. You can't really praise them for failure. Now, you can certainly encourage them for their efforts. You can encourage them that, failure is just a temporary setback. We're going to retool and go at it again and succeed. But sincere encouragement is important. You got to do it without seeing their faults. You want to see their strengths and focus on that. So people are motivated by social encouragement. So when you encourage people, it helps. More than monetary rewards do. So, one thing that when you're encouraging people, you got to do it with respect, and you got to be positive, and you've got to be complimentary. Okay, so you can't tear them down about the negative things they've done. You got to be encouraging on the positives, and then nurture the things you want better. And you got to encourage them daily. You've got to have daily encouragement. You can't just say it today and then forget it for 2 weeks and then expect it to work. You've got to encourage them to improve a little bit every day and do better every day. And you've got to be inclusive in the decision making. So if you're trying to figure out if your team isn't succeeding in an area, enlist their ideas. Hey, team, and they told a story about a company that really wanted the owner of the company really wanted to take this big job, but he was afraid that they couldn't deliver on time. And so he wasn't wanting to take it because he didn't want to damage the company's reputation by not coming through on it. And so what he did was he sat his crew down and he said, here's the thing, crew, I've got this big order that I think I need to turn down because I just don't see how we can do it. And then he asked them, do you have any ideas how we might change things? And then everybody started putting in ideas about how, this person could change their work hours, and this person could do that, and this person could do this, and all together they could do this. And in the end, they ended up insisting that he take the order because they knew they could do it on time. So that's where you're inclusive in the decision making, get people to help with the decision making, which gets them to buy into the project. It gets them to commit because now they own it. They have ownership in it because they created the plan. And you want to address any conflicts that come up right away. So if there's conflict that occurs, you want to address it quickly and subdue it, put it down, address it. And the last thing, number 5, have fun. So whatever it is you're doing, regardless of just don't make it a stressful situation. Have fun about it. Whatever you're doing in life, there's always some fun to be had in it, even if it's a hard job. So anyway, that's what I've got for you tonight. Did think I'd just show you real quick. I have been working on the website a little bit more, and I'll come to you some more with that. I've been getting kind of held up on getting that accomplished, both time-wise and also getting hung up on some things, and I'll kind of show you what I'm talking about there. So anyway, I'm down to this. I've got it cleaned up pretty nice. Haven't figured out my headlines yet, so I've still got to do that. This is going to be going away down here, and I've got a section I'm going to add in between, inviting people to into my group. And then I haven't put the navigation up here yet. I've got the bar set up for it, but when I get ready to do it, I've got to be able to link it to pages. So there's 1 or 2 pages I'm going to create first, and then I'm going to pop that in. But that's not going to take 10 minutes once I actually get going on it. So anyway, and the other thing I'm probably going to do still is something different with the picture. Right now, this is a headline right here. In fact, you can see it on the website. Here's the website, and the other one's actually on the web. So anyway, this is the headline right here. I think I'm actually going to pull that out, and I'm going to redo the whole picture, which is this background is all one picture, including me. And so what I think I'm going to do is just create a new background that's got all the wording and so forth in it, and just paste it in there. It's kind of easy to do that on Canva. I can manipulate the fonts and things of that nature. If I do it with a picture, gives me a lot more versatility on that. So, and that's one of the neat things about this funnel builder is that you can just take a picture and pop it in there and save yourself a whole bunch of manipulating and so forth, which is really nice. So, anyway, so that's my next thing is I'm going to kind of redo that. I've been working on the other pages. I've got one more page I got to create, and then I can toss these in. And at the end, this header will be a global header. And the other thing, of course, you guys know from last night, we just placed an order for a new logo. So I'm kind of holding up to get the new logo in there as well. So anyway, that's where we're at on that. We'll let you know how that's finishing up and show you a little more about what we're doing and how we're doing it as we go along. But just thought I'd bring that to you real quick. That's all I got for you tonight, folks. Again, make sure you smile at everyone you see. It's going to improve their day. It'll absolutely improve yours. Folks, have a fantastic evening. Hope you got a lot done on this wonderful Take Action Tuesday. Let's get ready for wonderful Wednesday, and we'll get things going and really finish this week out strong, folks. So all of you have a wonderful evening. We'll talk to you later. Smile and Stu out. Take care.